Light presents Real Men of Genius. Real Men of Genius. Today we salute you, Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor. Mr. Giant Taco Salad Inventor.
Good evening, Casey.
Hey, Ray. Interesting start to the show.
Did you catch that?
I did. It's one of those classic commercials for a certain beer, it sounds like.
Bud Light. Yeah, it was an old commercial. I'm not too sure if you remember it. I certainly do, because it was a funny thing, and I mean they had all kinds of different songs to different things, and I kind of like the taco inventor guy. So let's take off with that little bit of music and.
Well, it sounds like that certain beer knew its demographic and knew who they were advertising towards.
Marketing geniuses. I think Kid Rock said it better with his AK-47 or AR-15 or whatever he was shooting. I was too busy laughing to take a good look at the
fill us in, Ray. What is motivating us to play that old jingle and talk about Bud Light, the beer?
Well, okay, that's fair enough. The motivating factor is let me say, Mr. Dylan Mulvaney, Miss Dylan Mulvaney, T. Dylan Mulvaney. I don't know what it is, but this site. Very, very happy to get Dylan's own picture on a Bud Light can celebrating March Madness. Madness is right, huh? I don't know what they're thinking, dude. You know, every guy I know that drinks Bud Light, 90% of them are blue collar, working with their hands, contractors, carpenters, tile layers, truck drivers, some military guys. Well, maybe that's why, huh, these days. But yeah, now they're drinking Bud Light along with pictures of Dylan Mulvaney on it, and I just had to bring it up. I guess they must have done some kind of research where there was a market segment that was underrepresented in the Bud Light industry, and they wanted to grab it before Coors and Miller Lite and any other light decides to go after that demographic. Let's see how it works in the long run. You know,
Quite bizarre, but I think it's motivation for us to all drink local, as they say.
Yeah, well, I think I'm going to be in the Kid Rock column that I'm not going to be drinking any Bud Light. You know, I'm voting with my feet. I don't tell people what to do, and if they should, what's the word I'm looking for? Boycott a particular product at all. It's not my position to do that. It's none of my business. But you can surely know that I'll be sticking to my Coors Light and Miller Lite and different Cerveza lights across the world. The funny thing about it is then everyone's jumping on Dylan's back. Kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing there. The woke marketing people. Nike. The first, when I think of Nike products, think of sports, right? I don't think Dylan has played sports, football, track field, or I don't know. I could be wrong, but I really don't see the relationship between Nike sports gear and Dylan to the point where Caitlyn Jenner, ironically, itself, is that what you use? It, her, she, him, they, is all pissed off about the woke Nike marketing of transgender. folks like that. Uh, I don't know. The problem here is not you get the SCOTUS too, and I love using that word SCOTUS because that's just what they are. The Supreme Court between the Biden administration, and boy, what a piece of work he is, and the SCOTUS are you know our great, lovely Supreme Court people, saying trans folks can compete on women's teams. And I guess that's all we want to really say about that. That we're doing away with women's rights to be autonomous, play sports, have a real sense of self after winning something, not worrying about some dude in the locker room afterwards, whipping a willy out to take a bathroom in the shower or something. I don't know, but it's a shame. I don't know what this country's coming to. Let's talk about something else before I throw my microphone across the room, Casey.
What do you got, Ray? What else can we talk about?
What's not pissing everyone off in the whole world these days. Let's talk about Trump.
Yes. Now we're talking.
The jury was out whether I would have voted for him coming up. You sit there and you go, let's see, this Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat. Well, not a Democrat anymore, but then you got Joe Biden. There's no way I'd vote for Joe Biden. And then on the Republican side, you go, we had Trump, and he had some outstanding successes as president, but unfortunately, he pissed the Clintons off and beat Hillary out of her pantsuit, and it was a beautiful thing to watch because I really can't stand the Clintons talking about women's team. They're just crap. If your last name's Clinton, you ought to think about changes. No more Hitlers being named in the world. And I think once these Clintons go to the great beyond, no one should take that name anymore. That should be ended. So you go, I'd never vote for Clinton. And nobody did. They voted for Trump and he won. Ever since that day, the cabal has gotten together and has attacked that guy before he can do anything. And it's culminated throughout the years. You name it. Dossiers that were written that Hillary paid for, the CIA and everyone verifying all this stuff, and all these high FBI agents, and it's just a farce. And it's turned this country into a farce. Just look at Joe Biden as a result. And now, he had an issue 17 years ago or something. And somehow before the election, his lawyer did an NDA. And we know what NDAs are. And for you people who don't know what it is, just Google it. Casey and I, with our company and some of the things we do, we brought people in, and before we brought them in, because it's proprietary, we had them sign an NDA. And Stormy Daniels, and whatever her real name is, who cares, signed an NDA, and somebody gave her $130,000. Now, let's just put that in perspective. $130,000 for me, you, Casey, that's substantial. Is a nickel substantial to you, though? No. Nickels aren't substantial. So $130,000 to a billionaire is like a nickel to us. There are days when my back hurts and I won't pick up a nickel on the ground if it's lying there, unless it's got a buffalo on it, but I wouldn't know because my eyes are so old I can't see that far. So, it's a farce. They're going after a guy, 34 counts of doing some stuff that is, a load of horse manure. But old Alvin there, the DA, he's like, well, yeah, but it was to cover up another crime, which makes it a felony. Okay, fair enough. What was that crime there, Alvin? You little chipmunk, you? Well, I don't have to tell you. Yeah, you do. This is America, dude. You better tell us. I think was it the Fourth, Sixth Amendment, First Amendment. You get a right not to say anything or say anything. No, tell us what that crime was. Because you look like the biggest jerk in the world. You fat slob. And so I don't see it going where very very far. However, you know what the real issue is, Casey. What do you think? No idea, huh? My lord, public education, huh? Yeah,
I barely survived, Ray.
yeah. Your parents need to get a refund from that public schools.
You're not wrong.
No, man, I'm kidding you. You smart fella. I just think at this point right now, it's not about him running for president. Maybe like 1% of it is, but they're just trying to keep the press off the real stories. And I said this about a week or so ago, and it was so funny. I said it's all about the world switching off the dollar. You get China and Russia uh, doing a Neil and Bob to one another. You've got now Saudi Arabia and Iran are you know playing brokeback camel with each other, and you have France in China. You have France going to be trading in Chinese money, and you have Japan who's buying oil from Russia. And some of these things you're like, you know, if you were walking down the street and there was a half empty bottle, water bottle of water, and you were thirsty, you look at that thing and you go, I'll go buy one in a few minutes. If you're in the middle of the desert, and you saw that half bottle of water, you'd suck that sucker down in a minute. Right? Uh, Sound effects there. So what's happening is because of what Biden is doing to American energy. Uh, these folks like Japan are seeing no other option for their own security is to just go out and buy Russian oil. They got it. We need it. Joe Biden's, he's dicking the dog here. Everything he touches turns to crap. And I got to tell you, I don't think this turning to crap thing is not by design. We've talked about this in the past, Casey, where they open up the borders. We got fentanyl coming in. More people are dying, kids, every year of fentanyl than we lost during the whole Vietnam War. And these suckers like Clinton and, uh, Sheldon Whitehouse and all these knuckleheads, John Kerry, who throw their medals over the wall at the White House because, so many people are dying. They're turning a blind eye to it, and they don't care. They don't give a rat's patootie about this stuff. And it's all by design to end this country. And just putting this thing up on Trump right now, it just pulls all the brain dead Bud Light drinking sycophants off the real story. They're not keeping their eye on the ball, and we're going to be in some serious doo doo real soon.
It's what's going to happen is it's going to take a while, and then it's going to happen all at once when the U.S. dollar will all of a sudden be unable to purchase what it used to, and it's going to take $100 to purchase what a dollar used to. And the only stability that the US dollar has was the fact that it was the world's reserve currency. And, last year, all these sanctions on Russia basically saying that, oh, all the US dollars in your treasury are worthless. So then now the whole world says, oh, wait a minute, they can do that. They could just make those dollars worthless. Well, they're going to go elsewhere.
It's,
And Saudi's going elsewhere. Japan's going elsewhere. I don't know what.
I mean, I'm almost speechless. And
What more do we need to see that this isn't a purposeful subversion of the United States?
it's I just I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And I don't know if I were a Republican, if this would just make me vote for Trump. Um, I don't know. I don't even know if we're going to have a country that's going to vote for a president in another year. It's that bad. I don't know what to say. It's disappointing. I just know that you know if a socialist takes over, be it China, Russia, Russia, China, Chi-Com kind of thing, that Rush Limbaugh used to say, when they come in, take over. Uh, all these kids that are 34, 35 years old living in their mom's basement wearing, black hoodies and black t-shirts and walking around with black knapsacks and black shoes with their social justice thoughts. They're the first ones that are going to go because these people, you don't get free speech. They're going to be all pissed off. Look at these knuckleheads in some of these California counties saying, "We're the cops." I'm sorry, you defunded them. Yeah, but I didn't want them defunded here. So be careful what you ask for.
It's so funny. Out of the great city of Chicago, they replaced a
God,
idiotic mayor with an even more apparently idiotic mayor who recently said that instead of he wants to find the wealth. He needs to find money from the wealthy, find their wealth in order to fix the problems of Chicago. Well, if any of those so-called people with wealth have half a brain, they're either already left or they are leaving.
yeah,
So there'll be nothing left. And to be honest, there aren't many great cities left in America that you actually want to visit. There's beach towns you want to go to, but what great you don't want to go to San Fran. You don't want to go to LA. In New
no,
Orleans, you only want to go to Bourbon Street. Off of that, life's in your own hands. I hear Nashville is quite the nightlife, so we'll try
yeah,
Nashville.
let's.
Where else can you go?
Tennessee had that transgender shooter in the school, and boy, that went away quick. Huh? You're not hearing anything about a manifesto. You're not hearing anything.
Yeah,
I mean, everything was lining up. Every time you have a mass shooting, Casey, and if the story goes away, what you got to look for is the weapon that was used. If it was a handgun, the press buries it because it doesn't fit their narrative. This one, they're like, yeah, it was a shooter, male, you know, an AR-15 assault rifle, and yep, and all these guys do this. Oh, wait a minute. I mean, this was a transgender, so it wasn't a guy. It was a. Well, wait a minute. He went by he and him in his pronouns, but he was a transgender. Does not compute. Does not compute, and they shut down. The story's going away.
yeah.
So you got 6 innocent people dead, 3 kids, adults, and you know, and our press and our president and everything else ought to be ashamed of where they're doing it. You know,
Yeah, but
we're
they're
all,
not ashamed. They're pure evil. They're pure evil. They're selfish. They seek their own power. They they're delusional
they
as to
are.
what a real human being is dealing with in this country.
Yeah. The
You
only
know,
funny thing about the Chicago mayor that came in, besides getting rid of Beetlejuice there, Lightfoot, is this dude's name is Brandon. So all I can think about is "Let's go, Brandon."
of course,
Ah,
poetry. It's
uh,
poetry.
it's uh, it's poetry. Let me Google one thing here. How many AR-15s in America? It's just one of the things that pop up. There's 20 million.
I was gonna guess 20 to 30 million.
20. They say
Yeah,
20 about. They said 20 million AR style weapons. People
yeah,
can't even. CNBC, a bunch of buffoons.
right.
Business Insider. America has 20 million. Whatever. Uh, so the American Gun Fact says there's approximately 19.8. So we're gonna make that 20 million. 20 million, right? That's a huge number, KC. There's 300 million people, and like a boatload of them are kids. So 20 million. If you listen to the statistics, you listen to Joe Biden talk about, when I was in the 90s and we did this ban on assault rifles, mass shootings went down. Well, it didn't. It didn't. He's lying. He's a total buffoon, liar. I don't care how old he is. He's not senile. He's reading the prompt. It didn't decrease. People go out and Google that and read about it. But still, 20 million. So if they talked about all this hate and destruction, 20 million, there would be, and just say, 20,000 of these things just stood up on their own and started killing people because it's an assault rifle. So it must be able to get up and kill people by itself, right? So just like 1%, 1/10, 1%, the country would be at war. Now these things are sitting in locked cases with this 20 million AR-15s. There's got to be 400 million rounds out there because people stockpiled. And this is why before it goes bad, there's going to be a lot of thinking on law enforcement about going into people's houses and trying to collect this stuff. This isn't the Germany in the 1920s where they, took your wedding bands and took your guns too. Uh, there's going to be a lot of then they'll have some stories to talk about. But I'm just saying, 20 million AR-15s out in this country. The problems aren't the guns. It's the sick people. It's girls. This transvestite who went out and shot up these poor people down in Tennessee. They're taking all these drugs to try to grow beards and everything, and I think it's playing with their brains. And you know,
it can't be healthy to do hormones
well, you know what? Here's
before
what
age 18 or 20, 25.
So everyone's yakking about all this, like men to women who go into a women's pool or track or an arm wrestling and beat the pants off the woman. I mean, you're not hearing too many women who transgender up to men who are going in the Red Sox and beating them silly and winning positions on the field.
Seems to be kind of one directional lately.
It is one directional. So you know what I would say. Being an ESG kind of guy, talking about investing today with my son. Uh, you know, I think we need diversity in pro football, hockey, basketball, and we need to throw some of these well-intentioned transgenderized men who were women now are men and make them play. And you have to at all times have 5% of your players playing who are transgender males from females at the game. And no one's watching female basketball now. Wait to see what happens to the ratings then. Uh, and it would never happen with basketball because, like, even football, I think China's into it. China owns pretty much the NBA. So, that stuff's not going to happen there, and no one's going to say anything about it. You know what? And I'm going to end it on that because I'm never going to get to sleep tonight because of my blood pressure.
But right, speaking of your blood pressure, you're looking to go out in the town. How do you find a venue, a bar, a nightclub, a restaurant around you that you want to patronize?
You know it, Casey. So we got this cool app who sponsors our program. It's called the Go Do app. How do you spell do?
DU.
Yeah, the Go Do app. It's on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. You download it, you turn this thing on, you log on, you go, hey, let me use your GPS. And it shows you all the cool spots in town right at your fingertips. It's got restaurants, bars, nightclubs, and my favorite right now is breweries. So it's got a whole list of breweries, and you go there, you click on it, you can see their hours. If there are people using it and they take pictures and put it up there, you can see like what's happening there right now. It's join the moment, Casey. You got it live. You can see the pictures, and you go, I want to be part of that. So you go, how do I get there? Well, if you look at the app, there's a little icon up there. You hit it, and it opens up Google Maps, and it tells you how to get there. No excuses. So be a, don't be a person who is doesn't have the eye on the ball because of Trump. Open up the app and go out and have some cocktails in town. When you
And
get
enjoy the fall of the republic as what could be possible.
I would just, if I go there and I see somebody drinking a Bud Light, I'd probably stay away from that beverage drinker.
Fair enough. The GoDo app, you can check it out, thegodoapp.com, Apple App Store, Android, or Google Play Store. And, well, great. We'll catch up next week, Ray, with the hottest topics of the day.
Peace out.